Okay, tower people, never buy Tesup. Anyway, here's the tower build still. I am working on this today as, again, just something more to do. Anyway, the guys were asking me to use a gin pole, which you can see where the fence is. It's not practical for my situation in suburbia here. So I don't have the yardage. I could have put the thing out here and blah, 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 but I wanted to make a minimal imprint on the actual yard. So especially putting a 1.5 yards concrete, 1.2 yards in the ground here for the tilt base. Now we're at the point where I have to put the counterweight for the actual crank. So one guy asked about the gin pole. That's the fence line right there. So we're talking 2 feet. So a bar, so I can't put a gin pole on here. So saw this thing, like I said, on a CAD design somebody did. So it worked already once with the poles and everything, but it actually flexed right there at this point. It actually was making the plate actually move up about 1/16 of an inch, and I did not like that. Knowing that I have to put 2 more sections up that is going to bring it from 30 feet to 50 feet if I need to, if the winds aren't good enough at 30 above everything. It clears all the trees around here on this side, and it's higher than my house at 27 feet. So still may be in dirty air, but who knows, we'll find out. It's all about the testing. So I just installed this, cut the holes. There's the original 1/2 inch plank is still underneath this one, and it goes out flat. Then I put the 1 inch steel on top of it, cut the holes with the cutting torch, just use the standard. I bought this, I think, at home. It's a Harris 601 type thing set up. Works great. I just reordered this gauge because I dropped it and cracked the hell out of it, so got to change that out, and I got the protectors for it. Anyway, back to this. Next step, I got to weld that. I cut those out so I could get a decent bead weld on all the sides from there. So I'll be welding here in the next few minutes, letting the galvanized paint dry up a little bit more before I start hitting this. J-bolts down in there. These are 1-inch J-bolts going down vertical. Horizontal ones are 7/8. Those are just over 8 inches into the concrete block. And then I used the I was going to use the red head, but they didn't have it. Home Depot had the other epoxy, and man, talk about 15 minutes later, it went rock hard. It did. There's no flex on those things at all. I mean, I could flex it if I grabbed the end, but that epoxy, extremely strong. I used the super strength one for the tensile. It showed an I-beam being mounted on the concrete, so that's what I went with. Impressed, man, with the technology of these epoxies. So, and it went in. This was all dry. I dumped 1 bag of cement in there, just mixed it up, threw it at the base to stop some of the water from coming up from the groundwater. But that's about it. I'll post this up, and next thing is weld it, and then the 4-inch I-beam goes out at the very end here. So the 4-inch I-beam will sit there with a 1-inch gap at the very end, so I can put a decent weld on both sides of the I-beam, and that's about it. Then I'll be erecting the rest of it, and then putting the support arms. So I'll take some video of that after I'm getting done with the support arms.